Hello, friends, and namaste. Welcome back to the sacred space with me, your host Preetha Lal, as we spend some time reading the book Eternal Values for a Changing Society by the late Srimad Swami Ranganathandanda ji. As you are aware, if you are following this podcast, Swami Ranganathandanda was the 13th president of the Ramakrishna Matan mission, but he was so much more. He was a philosopher, a scholar, a spiritual ambassador, and a teacher. This multi-volume treatise that I have decided to read to you through this podcast is a testament to the vast breadth and depth of his knowledge and wisdom. In today's episode, the Swami writes with such eloquence on the significance of Sri Krishna in the context of Indian culture and how his divine words are the wellspring of great philosophies that define India. Swami Ranganathandanda discusses some nuggets from the first chapter of the Gita and how it is so much more than a religious text. He talks about both the teacher Krishna and his able disciple Arjuna, their interaction, Arjuna's dilemma, and his rationalization. Let us begin. Sri Krishna and Indian culture. He is a person who has impressed himself upon the culture of this country in every aspect. Take away Krishna and everything of value in our culture vanishes. His impress is there on our art, literature, music, painting, sculpture, folk dance, and so on. Many a foreigner is struck by the rich cultural heritage of India. This culture took its rise as a little stream in the dim antiquity of the Vedas during its unimpeded course through thousands of years of history. It has received accessions of strength and richness from many a tributary, and today, in its essential form, it is a vast swelling ocean of virtue, purity, and power. Every Hindu can be justly proud of being a participant in this rich cultural heritage. Krishna is one such who strengthened and enriched this culture long before the separation of humanity into the Hindu, the Muslim, and the Christian was dreamt of. He was there. Therefore, Krishna belongs to every child of this country, be he or she a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or anybody else. A time will come when everyone in this country, irrespective of caste, creed, or color, will recognize Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Buddha, and Shankara as the architects of the nation's mind who handed down a rich cultural heritage to the people of India without any distinction. This culture is the common property of all communities. Just a few days back, Dr. Sukarno of Indonesia, in an article contributed by him to the Hindu of Madras, said that in the blood of every Indonesian is the culture of India. So it is not difficult to imagine a time in India when everyone will claim and look to the same ancient culture for inspiration and guidance. When we realize our true condition, we realize the part played by Sri Krishna and in the culture of this country. Sri Krishna of the Mahabharata is a mighty philosopher as well as a mighty man of action. Yet he was absolutely detached. He was respected by everybody, the mighty of the land, the sages, the women, the children, and the peasants. Gita, a mighty message of a mighty teacher. The Gita is the teaching of such a mighty and dynamic personality, and he has infused his mightiness and dynamism into his teaching. Such a dynamic teaching can be properly understood only by those who have a little of that mightiness in themselves. When little people take to a great idea, they bring it down to their own level, as they cannot rise to its level. For the last 1,000 years, we have produced nothing but soft literature. Swami Vivekananda said that the country preferred softening ideas, with the result that most of the literature of the last 1,000 years, if squeezed, produces only tears. In the hands of such people, the Gita has lost its mightiness. But Sri Krishna has no place in his teaching for any sort of weakness or sentimentalism. The very opening verse that he utters to admonish Arjuna, translated, says, Whence has this weakness crept into you at this critical juncture? The Upanishads and the Gita speak only of strength. Swami Vivekananda says, strength is what Upanishads speak to me from every page. Unquote. Weak minds can never understand or grasp mighty ideas. In their attempt to do so, they but dilute such ideas with their own littleness. But when we develop a little strength and vigor in ourselves, we shall find that in the Gita something that will stand us in every situation in life. For those who want merely a little soothing of nerves and are afraid to face the hard trials of life, a lot of material will be found in the Puranas. But those who want stimulation for the higher life through hard struggle and the facing of responsibilities will find it in the Gita in ample measure. Only the mighty can understand the value of the Gita. As Swami Vivekananda says, only the elephant knows the strength of the lion and not the mosquito. The Gita is not meant to soothe us and put us to sleep, but to wake us up from our slumber and lethargy and goad us onto the highest self-realization and self-expression. The verses of the Gita have a power to invigorate us and to make us think in fresh terms. They will not let us move in the old ruts. Arjuna's first lessons in discipleship. The message of the first chapter. Last time we discussed some of the aspects of the Gita in relation to the context in which it was delivered, as also its place among the scriptures of the Hindus. In that connection, I referred to the special quality of the Gita teaching and the personality of its teacher, Sri Krishna. That was by way of introduction to the study of the Gita. Today we shall enter into the subject itself. But before doing so, we shall tarry for some time in its first chapter, which is a sort of introduction to the whole book. In the first chapter, we get the environment in which the Gita was taught. It is a dramatic setting that we get there. In that great battle of Kurukshetra, famous in ancient Indian history between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, the greatest hero Arjuna, with Sri Krishna as his charioteer, stands between the two arrayed armies and views the warriors on both sides. Suddenly, a piquant situation develops. Seeing his own kith and kin facing him, Arjuna is overcome with grief. His nerves fail. He lays down his mighty bow, the Gandiva, with the resolve not to fight against his own people. A sort of revulsion comes on him, and he determines that he will not fight. He thinks that it is better and more ethical to give up the attempt to fight and conquer his enemies. Better it is to be defeated and slain by the enemy than to move forward in this line of resistance and war. It is a moving scene that is thus depicted in a telling manner in the first chapter of the Gita. It is a conflict of emotions and ideals, love and duty, all in an environment of conflict and war. War within and war all around. Whenever such a situation obtains, it becomes fraught with momentous possibilities. A crisis is the precursor of a creation. Greater the crisis, better the creation if the persons involved are of stem stuff. It sees the birth of a creative affirmation or a dynamic idea. This explains the perennial dynamism of the Gita message. Crisis as the precursor of a creation. It is very rare that common people get occasions to experience such intense conflict of emotions. We hardly get an occasion to be violently pulled in opposite directions, to do or not to do. But in the case of those who are born to achieve greatness, there are several occasions when they are placed in such circumstances when there arises a conflict of loyalties, and it is a hard thing for them to decide as to what is to be accepted and what to be rejected. This kind of conflict of duty comes with varying intensity to every sincere aspirant in the ethical life. On such occasions, the human mind needs and demands some sort of effective guidance. It is such guidance that Sri Krishna offers us from the second chapter onwards in the Gita. When we take the first chapter, it is such a historic presentation of the ethical problem, the question of ethical choice, the problem, and of the conflict of duties. This problem and its discussion are there in our ancient thought, and they are in every type of ethical thought in the world. The Gita discusses this subject in the second chapter in the light of lofty metaphysics, and it comes in more of a varied treatment in subsequent chapters when it deals with such topics as action, inaction, renunciation and action, sannyasa and karma yoga, and the like. The presentation of the subject of duty in the very first chapter of the Gita provides a basis for the building up of a mighty edifice of metaphysics and ethics in the subsequent chapters. We have in the first chapter a dramatic element that furnishes so much of the beauty and sublimity to the Gita teaching. It adds an air of reality to the message of the Gita. It imparts a touch of earnestness to the discussion. The discussion is not merely academic, in which case it would have become ineffectual and unrelated to practice, but being born out of the fire of conflict and struggle, it issued forth in a message of permanent value to people. Here is a sincere seeker of a crisis face to face with a great teacher. The seeker asks for practical guidance. Naturally, such a situation does not warrant a merely academic solution of the problem. It must take all of the facts into consideration and give guidance then and there. It is this that the Gita proceeds to do through the great teacher Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is, in this sense, a participant and not merely a spectator who has nothing to do with the battle. This realism imparts to the Gita a great philosophical depth and moral sweep than what partakes of a mere academic discussion of ethical problems. This is a special appeal. Arjuna's rationalization. So in the first chapter, we have this picture of Arjuna facing an army of relations and friends and teachers. He is moved to pity and grief and says, "What is the use of fighting such a battle? I would rather be a mendicant than engage in this fight." In moving words, Arjuna presents his case, and he even takes Sri Krishna to task for inducing him to fight. "Do we not know the misery that is going to be caused?" he asks. "Since we know it, it is better that we desist from such a battle." Arjuna then declares that he will not fight. There is so much conflict of feeling in Arjuna that he breaks down. His bow and arrow fall from his hands. His voice is choked. He sinks down in his chariot. This kind of situation comes to us whenever we are faced with conflicting loyalties. In all such situations, when we are unable to decide our duty and the circumstances become puzzling, we exhibit a type of behavior similar to that of Arjuna. Our nerves fail us, but we do not detect it. We bring in arguments to support our behavior, but they are false arguments, which we cannot stand the scrutiny of reason and philosophy. Philosophy with most people is, according to the British philosopher Bradley, the finding of bad reasons for opinions that they hold by instinct to be true. This is bad philosophy, the product of rationalization but not of reason. This is the case with Arjuna. His nerves and judgment fail him at a critical time owing to an excess of attachment, delusion, and grief. It is rationalization that is seen at work when he invokes the aid of non-violence, non-resistance, and humanity for withdrawing from the battle. The great virtues of non-violence and non-resistance are brought in to help the tired nerves of Arjuna when he says it is better to withdraw or die than to fight and kill. He appeals to Sri Krishna for support in his argument. But strangely enough, he does not get that support. Philosophy cannot support rationalization, for it is based on reason that takes all the circumstances and conditions of a problem into account before offering a solution. So when Arjuna says, "I don't want to fight," and seeks the support of Sri Krishna for his act, he is startled to find that he does not get it. Here philosophy is typified by Sri Krishna, and the moral conflicts and the confusion resulting therefrom are typified by Arjuna. The one is calm and collected, whereas the other is all confusion, shaken in his resolve to fight and nerve broken. Thus ends the first chapter entitled, in the very telling words of the author Vyasa, as Arjuna Vishada Yoga, or the yoga of the grief of Arjuna. The calm reason of philosophy is face to face with the confused unreason of dynamic life. The product of this encounter is the philosophy of life contained in the 17 subsequent chapters of the Gita. Thank you, friends, for your time and attention as we conclude this episode today. As you would have noticed, the relevance of Swamiji's words from so long ago is so pertinent in what we face in today's society, probably even more so. In the next episode, the Swami discusses a mental tonic and the innate divinity of man. It is such moments in the book that so beautifully justify the title of these treatises. Indeed, these values are eternal, they are timeless, and so beautifully and eloquently positioned by Swami Ranganathandanda. More on that next time. For now, thank you for joining me in this space today. This is Preetha. Until next time, Namaste.